Hi everybody, Adela Levine, and I'm an intuitive and medium. Welcome back to those who are revisiting my page and my channel. But hello and welcome to those of you who are new. So today we're going to be doing a subject that I know a lot of people voted on, actually, on my community page when I put it up for a vote, and that is how to raise your vibration and open your sight. Okay, so I do classes on this a lot, and this is something, it's kind of interesting to me because I've been saying the term raise your vibration for, I don't know, since I've been reading, maybe like, well, actually, maybe in the past 10 years. And now you see it on t shirts, raise your vibes, raise your vibrations. You see it everywhere. But I think people really don't kind of know what it means. I feel like people do know what it means, but I've had a lot of people kind of asking, what does that really mean? And how does that actually open your sight? And what does the two have to do with each other? So we're going to get into that. If you hear the air go on, I apologize, but I kind of don't because it's hot and I kind of cannot do these videos without air conditioning. So you might hear like a shh sound. Please forgive me, but I just need the air on. Okay, so raising vibrations. Raising vibrations is actually raising your frequency. And what that is energy. And it's an energy that we all carry. It's our spirit. It's the core of who we are. It runs through us. And you might hear other terms like chi, or I've even heard people refer to this similar type of thing that I call raising frequency or vibration as to like prana energy. And it's the idea that in order to open your sight, you have to speed up your frequency. Okay, so in this plane, we run very slow. And so kind of look at it like in this plane, we're like sloths, as cute as sloths are, and they are adorable, and they almost are harmless, which is not like humans, but they barely move, and they run very, very slow. In this plane, that's very much how we are. In the other dimension, it is very fast. And the other way we can compare it to is Wi-Fi today and dial-up of yesterday, where everything took really long to log on. And in order to like open your site and to get it going and to get it faster, you have to speed up the frequency. So it's not raising like people might think, like raising up, but it's speeding up. And in order to do that, I should say, like, I'll get to and how to do it, but the reason why you're doing it is because as that frequency is getting faster and faster, it's shooting open different parts inside you. So it's opening up the heart, it's opening up this part of you, it's opening up even that kind of that sixth sense in your stomach that you feel. But it's basically speeding up the frequency so you can tap into that realm. Why do you want to tap into that realm? Because it's a collective consciousness, it's a collective whole. The collective consciousness is consciousnesses, all conscious working together. So it's the higher beings, the more evolved beings. What I mean by evolved is just educated, been around longer in that dimension, spirits, master teachers, a piece of you is all working together in the collective whole to shoot down the information to us. So in order for you to connect to that, you have to speed up your frequency, because once you speed it up and it opens up, it's almost like a logging on, okay? And I know this may become at a surprise to people, but I know a lot of people are very focused on the third eye and focus on this like part of this chakra and that type of thing, but it's really your heart that opens your sight. It's really your heart. I'm going to repeat that. What I mean by that is you have to feel. And when you allow yourself to feel, it vibrates through your whole body. So in other words, that feeling of when you're like, oh my goodness, I'm really like feeling connected. I'm really feeling towards people. I'm really feeling all of this information come through me. You know that feeling of when you're talking to someone and you're saying something to someone, and you know it's connecting with them, and you know it's connecting into their heart from your heart, and that opens up your sight. And so the other part of this idea is that we operate off of our own energy most of the time. And when I teach classes about this, and I do teach classes about it, it's not really teaching as I'm taking people on a journey. I am going to work on putting out a video. Probably would have to be on my website because I like to use music. Now that brings me to how to raise your frequency. Now I want to say this because this is my belief system. I'm going to tell you how I do it, but I'm going to throw out some suggestions to give you the idea of how you can do it. What I mean by that is everybody is uniquely different, thank God, and we all operate and vibrate at a different frequency, meaning like who we are and what connects to us and what opens us up is different for everyone. Someone may need to go for a run. Someone may need to punch a punching bag. Some people just want to sit quiet in a garden, and even maybe even plant gardens, and that opens them up. And so even if I tell you, and which I will, what I do to speed up this frequency and connect to that realm, there's two things. One, you're going to find the way that works for you, uniquely the way you are built, because everyone's different, which is why I don't believe in saying, here's an instruction book on how to do this. I'm trying to get you, as this is appropriate, to follow your intuition about yourself. You can't open your intuition and open up your sight if you're not listening to who you are. So let's say you say, okay, I read a book, and meditating for 2 hours a day is the way to really open up your third eye and such. Or I read a book and it says, sitting and laying still in the ground and in the earth in the middle of the forest is the way, and connecting to the energy around you is the way. But it doesn't seem to work for you. You have to realize a couple things. The stages of the way things are going to change with you, meaning you may find that one of these ways opens you up really well at some time in your life, and you may retire that and say, now I moved on to something else. But you know yourself. You know that walking may, like with music on, may kind of get you into that place where you're pretty much zoning out. So the key to everything is to slow the mind down. What I mean by that is not let the mind fight with the heart. And to raise your frequency and to open up your frequency and to speed it up, it's letting go of the mundane world and of this place. And for me, I use music, and that's why in my classes I use music, because music is so high vibrational. It hits all the areas that inside of us. It's and so you're looking at it like a shoo, shoo, shoo kind of thing that's speeding up and getting faster. And for me, music, different types of music. What I mean by that is you may listen to slow music at one point, and then you go, okay, I want to put on something that's a little more drum beat. But it also has to be emotional. So it's something that charges your heart, that makes you feel. Going through pain instead of avoiding pain. Feeling the pain you're going through actually opens up your sight. I know that sounds strange, but when you're allowing yourself to face and go through that dark part of yourself, to push through it and allow yourself to dive into that pain, and then you rise up out of it, and you dropped a part of yourself and you developed a new skin. So I know this isn't kind of what people think of when they think of how to open sight. I know we're told all these things about meditation and whatnot, but if meditation, again, is something that works for you, and you're sitting there and you say, I meditate and I open myself up. But the thing with meditation is it's quieting the mind, it's quieting the spirit, it's getting you more connected to the earth, it's grounding you, and that is great. But what I'm talking about is something that's trying to speed up your frequency to shoot out into the other dimension, the other realm, for you to connect to this other place, connect to that source of energy. And that's not so earthly bound. Okay, so hold on, drinking water. So this is what I would say. You know yourself. If you know that if you go walking or if you're planting, a garden, if you're zoning out, because this is the key, it's when you kind of just zone out and you kind of drift out, like when you're a kid and someone's driving and you're just kind of looking out the window and you just kind of allow yourself to drift. Believe it or not, drifting with your thoughts is awesome. This is what opens the sight. This is what opens up a part of you that you tend to ignore. We're very grounded and concrete with, well, I need to get this bill paid, I need to go to work, I need to get gas. That is all very this world mundane, concrete living, which is obviously needed and you need to do. But when you're trying to get into that place, you're kind of going into a place of complete zone. Like you're zoning out into another realm. You're not trying to make sense of it with here. You're letting yourself feel. And to raise that frequency, it may be sitting by the water for you. It may be sitting completely alone and just letting yourself space out. It may be through music, like I'm saying. And it also may be running or this or that or painting. You have to kind of remember who you are and how you connect to this space, because it tends to happen that most of us have convinced ourselves and told us, oh no, this isn't the way I'm supposed to do it. I read that in order to open your sight, this is what you're supposed to do. Oh, I heard that this is what you're supposed to do. How can I teach you about intuition if I don't teach you to follow your intuition, about how to open your intuition? I'm not really teaching you. I'm just handing you a key, like I always say, and telling you, hey, listen, go ahead and unlock these pieces of yourself that you've forgotten about who you are. So you do have to listen to your intuition about how you get to that space. If it doesn't feel right. You got to throw away the idea, am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it well? Am I doing it bad? Because that is not how that realm works. That is not how your intuition works. Your intuition is probably usually the very thing your mind is telling you that makes no sense, that's silly, or that's dumb, or why would I think that, or it goes against even what you want a lot of the times. Now let me be clear on that. What I mean by that is, like, let's say you go, I want to leave the house at exactly at 10 o'clock, and that's the time I'm leaving, and that's the schedule. But something's nagging you and kind of telling you, I don't know, it kind of feels like maybe I should leave a little earlier or a little later or whatnot, and you just kind of have a feeling. But no, that was the plan, that's what you have on the list, and that's what you have to follow. If you start to notice through the day, if you start to pay attention, many times your intuition is coming into play and kind of trying to say, you know what, today's going to be a little off. Today's going to be moving a little bit in a different direction, and it's okay. And if you let go and you go with it, even though it may not feel like, the day you had planned, or the day even before that might have felt like a whole different energy, this is the energy that's going today. Why is that? Because there's a lot going on that has nothing to do with you. What I mean is, it's not like the world and the universe is revolving around us. We are the ones that are trying to tune in to the collective whole. And if you allowing yourself to tune into the collective whole and consciousness of where are things going, where does the energy, just like my cat who's deciding, like, her collective whole is to run every time I'm doing YouTube. But if I were to get upset about it and I would stop this right now and say, oh, this isn't how it's supposed to be, it was supposed to be like this, I kind of lose the energy. You lose the wave, because I know what I'm saying. I want to say it in this way. I know it's coming through me. I'm not going to worry about the perfection. I'm going to more be into the energy that's going on. And so if you go through your day and you wake up and you go, okay, I'm just going to leave a little later because I have a feeling, and then you do, and then something kind of about your day shifts, and you go, oh, okay, so it wasn't my plan, but things shift. That is following your intuition. It's usually going against the grain of what is told to you you're supposed to or not supposed to do. It is hard. It is really hard, because we're all bombarded with, all the time we're bombarded with, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're not supposed to do, this is how you're supposed to act, this is what you're supposed to wear, this is how supposed to, blah, blah, blah. All day long we feel like we're failing in some way or the other, and I understand that. Your human side is totally feeling that, and I get that. But in what I talk about with raising your frequency is that when you allow yourself to connect to that place, you kind of see, it's like, it's really home. And when you're connecting with home, you're dropping all of the stuff that you're carrying in your life through the everyday life into that space, and you're letting it fill you. So kind of imagine, and you can use this or you can use something else. Again, follow your gut. Your feet going into the earth, pulling all their energy up like roots, like a tree, and your hands moving up like branches, reaching out into the cosmos and the sun, filling you up and charging like shoo, 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 like charging you, because we can't operate off of our own energy alone. Your feet releasing the earth, your hands releasing, and now you're a little charged. Whichever way you choose to do that, running, sitting still, walking, listening to music, running around like a cat. Um, so, whatever which way you choose to do, I would do that. And do I think like there's an energy that I tend to start putting out in these? I do. And animals like are obviously are sensitive, and that is why there's something interesting about the idea of, is it instinct, or is it that, are we feeling the energy in the air? So every day kind of wake up and kind of do like, okay, what is the air feeling like today? What am I feeling? And don't worry about, is it Mercury retrograde, da, 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 and all these things that we get thrown. What are you feeling for the day? Because if you can sense it, then something may be telling you, slow down, take your time. Today's one of those days you need to take your time, because of all the other things that not to do with you, because there is an energy in the collective whole on this earth where everyone might be feeling something, everyone might be a little irritated, everybody might be in a anxious mode, and everyone can kind of sense there's something stirring around them, but not everybody's tuned into what or why. And you can with your intuition. And if you raise your frequency, which is like feeling that vibration go through you, and you can just feel something filling you up and shooting your energy out, almost like tentacles reaching out into the rest of the realm and pulling it back to you, so you can get a sense of what's going on. Raising your frequency is just speeding up the energy, and it's speeding up your awareness. It's a state of consciousness. It's opening up that consciousness to the highest form. And we only can do it usually in bouts, because we have to deal with the mundane world as well. So the balance is key. So I hope that made sense. I'm definitely working on doing a video which I do take people on a journey of how to see that realm, how to raise their frequency. I'm figuring out how I'm going to do it, because I use music and there's been issues with that. So I'm trying to see, and that maybe you guys can use this to practice. If you are in the local area, I do teach these classes at different times and different places. But to stay tuned for all those things, or to stay tuned, which I think is a silly thing to say. But if you want to know and you want the information, the 411, Adele Levine on Instagram, Adele Levine on all social media, of course here, and even on our podcast, The Witch in the Medium, that me and Dylan do, I say stuff about things that are coming up, or classes and such. So thank you guys so much. Follow your gut. Follow yourself, follow your inner self, follow who you are. Remember that spiritual teachers and readers, all we're here to do is kind of be like the scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz, like trying to point and guide different ways. But we're really here to hand you the key to help you unlock something that you already know. And I'll see you guys soon.